Hello, geometry scholars. This is scale 4.4, which is multiple transformations. So we're not going to do anything explicitly new in this video, but rather just kind of like review all the tools that we developed in Unit 4 and kind of look at the combined transformations. So why do we need multiple transformations? Well, if you've ever played a video game like Tetris, obviously, we have to like move this piece and do a combination of moves rather than an individual move. And some artists, like the famous MC Escher, literally created something with glide reflections, kind of this tessellations type of thing. So the tools that we have, just to kind of reiterate, are the translations, moving up, down, left, and right. Reflections, are often done through, thinking about the symmetry and the axis of symmetry. And then the rotations include the coordinate rules. Now, one of the things that we're going to kind of add during class, just on our quick notes, is just kind of have a one-page sheet summarizing the moves that we have developed throughout this unit. So some essential questions that I think are important in terms of where we might go on questions in this particular skill, or even the critical thinking skill of this unit is, can I do something in more than one move? The answer is yes, you can. So you can combine more than one move together. And sometimes we can even think about how we can go from one location to another location on the graph efficiently. So we're going to put for the answer for question one an enthusiastic yes. Now, question two is, does the order in which I perform these moves matter? And for this one, I'm going to say that the answer is it depends. And if you're ever going to explain a question like this, you want to kind of look at an example of, and maybe an example not as well. So let's actually take a look at an example right now. And we're going to kind of go in depth. So this says, use the information to sketch the image of triangle ABC after a glide reflection. So what we're going to do here in the red is just plot A, B, and C. So I'm going to go to -1, -3. So that's right there. So I'm going to call that point A. Then I'm going to go to -4, -1. So I'm going to call that point B. And then point C is -6, -4. So we will call that point C. And then we can connect the dots of that. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to translate. So we are going to move to the right by 10. So I'm just going to write that here in plain English. And I think with those translations, they are just best done visually. And then we're going to count to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So my A prime is going to be right there. And then I'm also going to go 10 to the right for my B prime, or for my B to B prime. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So my B prime would be at the red dot. And then my C prime, I'm going to go from like -6 to 4. And there's my C prime, and I just moved that triangle right. And when you're kind of doing these multiple transformations, just kind of put the prime notation in there and the double prime just to show you where you are after one move and then where you are after two moves. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to reflect over the x-axis. If I like those coordinate rules, what I may want to even do is just write down those coordinate rule of the reflection over the x-axis. So that would be a x comma y goes to x comma -y. So we just make the y coordinates opposite. But another way I could kind of do this is think symmetry as well. So if I go 3 below, and I'm just going to kind of like highlight this x-axis, kind of get it nice and colored there. So if I'm 3 below, I'm going to go 3 above for my A double prime. For my point 9 comma 3. And then if I'm going to go for my B prime, I'm 1 below. So I'm going to go 1 above for my B double prime. So that's going to get me to 6 comma 1. And then for my C prime, I'm 4 below. So I'm going to go 4 above. And then I'm just going to connect the dots. And that is my final location for that. And I'm just going to record that point. So if I were you, I would just kind of take a screenshot of this picture. And what we can kind of notice here is we just kind of just performed the move sequentially. So we did not, do one move and then go back to the beginning, whether we just continued. So I think something interesting happens when we reverse the order of the transformations. So if I were to do a reflection instead, I'm going to do this in blue. My B prime would be here. My A prime would be, let's see, I'm going 3 below. So I'd have to go, like 3 above. And then my C prime would be 4 below. So I would go 4 above. And then one thing that we kind of see that's interesting is that if we are going 10 units to the right, we actually would end up at our very location that we did. So in this case, we could say that if we reverse the order, the answer is yes. But in some other cases, that answer is not always going to be true. But in this particular case, the answer is yes. Another type of question that you're going to see is just describing the composition of the transformations, just kind of in stages. And the tip here is you want to be as descriptive as possible. So we don't want to see, the shape moved, and we don't even want to see reflect and then rotate, That's still pretty accurate. What we want to see is just some description around that. So if we're looking at this example here, we have a line of reflection at x equals 2. And we could actually say from a first transformation, what we're doing is we are reflecting over when we have to put the axis of reflection, x equals 2. If we did that, then we have a pretty good description that's going on. And then the second transformation, I can kind of see we have a 90-degree angle. And we're moving clockwise. So then I would just write for my second transformation that we are rotating 90 degrees clockwise. So moral of, and we do need to even get more specific on this one. And there's actually a center of rotation here. So the center of rotation is going to be 2, 0. So we will say about 2, 0. So that adds the description. Now, for these describe questions, you can either start kind of visually what's going on, and some of these transformations you might be able to see very well visually. But if you are not able to see them very well visually, then you want to make sure that you are spending the time maybe with some of the coordinate rules, trying to see what's going on. So in this skill, there'll be a lot of doing of multiple transformations, and then also just kind of using some descriptions to describe multiple transformations as well.